people, especially we look up to Snam, and we want to imitate you guys. Forgetting you have to be your own self. What's your advice to young people who might be listening and want to be a top representative?
Kiri, if I heard you very well, you said there's a lot of young people or young girls that actually would want to fit in her shoes or maybe try and be in the industry as well. However, there's a lot of complications. And what would be your advice to them just to encourage them? Because especially when you come from Emakaya, like Eva, so, you know, we are so afraid of Gauteng, but Gauteng threatening Sha. You know what I mean? And there are my people from Ghana, when they come to South Africa, they are being called foreigners and they can't work on these radio stations, yet they are so good and they're all African. So what would be your words of wisdom or encouragement to these young girls, young women, young people that are listening and they want to venture into this broadcast?
What a tough question, but very important. You know, you must ask yourself first, why I want to be in this industry. You have to ask yourself first, and you must be very honest to yourself, because we know that most of young people, they want to be in the entertainment industry. Most of young people, they want to see themselves on television, they want to see themselves on radio, on stage. They just want to be seen, you know, Baba hip and happening. Because of now, and most of people, they just want to be famous. They just want to be known. They want to have followers. You know, they want to be influencers. You know, some of them, they don't even care about going to school anymore. You'll find that a girl or a boy from Kasi, the age is 16, 17, and and then they will come to me and says, next time I want to be on TV. It's like, why you want to be on TV? Sometimes it's because of we sing people like Bobonang, we sing people like we see people like Robert Boiti, and most young they see themselves. So the very important question, and you must be honest to yourself. Why I want to be in the entertainment industry? Do I have what it takes? Do I have talent? Am I creative enough? Do I want to change people?
Sorry, Nesty, just hold on a moment. Okay, I just want to close this one on Facebook, ne? Okay, Facebook, close. Okay, Nesty, you can go on. Sorry about that.
Okay, so as I was saying, you must ask yourself that question. Do I have what it takes? Am I creative enough? Am I talented? Do I want to be in this platform because of I just want people to see me, or I want to change people's lives, or I want to bring something into this world? You know, remember, having a talent or being in this kind of platforms, especially television, radio, singing, or, you know, it must be a calling. That thing, it should come. It should come naturally. You know, don't try to imitate somebody because of now you sing Rihanna doing this, and then it's like, you know what, Rihanna. Try and understand, find, know, and identify yourself. And then after that, be content. Have identity. You know what? This is me. These are my principles. Even if I want to be in the entertainment industry, I have to set my record straight and the standard for it. This is Nestum. These are my principles. This is what I believe in. And knowing, understanding, identifying, and living yourself, I am telling you, you will never go wrong. But you cannot tell us because of now, everybody, we should be famous. Definitely, it's not going to work because of this industry is very crucial. You know, we have hyenas, we have vultures, we have lions out there. By the way, they are looking at you. By the way, they want to see whether you are strong enough, whether you know yourself and you are content. But if you are not content and you don't know yourself and you didn't do a research of finding a man, you know, then definitely it can crash. But if when your research hunter and if you've done your homework correctly in a correct manner, I am telling you, you will go far.
Wow, that is so beautiful. We've got a question from Benny, but before I go to Benny, I just want to read something from Alfred Ipinge from Namibia. He is saying, okay, this one is actually directed to Freddy. So let's rather finish with Nestum and then Alfred, we will come to Freddy to actually ask him this question that you've posted here. It's quite a long one. So Freddy, you've got so much to respond to. So it's okay. Benny, are you ready to ask Nestum your question? Please unmute yourself.
Okay. Nesta, it's really an honor for you to talk to you right now. I feel like I'm dreaming. But but anyway, I had this question earlier on when I was talking to my team, Cannibal and Kedibone. So I was saying, think of the unfortunate people. Many of them are talented, but are not recognized. How can radio help that?
Okay, to answer your question, you're saying your airtime is exhausted. And
guys, my airtime is finito. Let me buy it and then call her again.
Oh man.
Okay, let me direct it straight to Freddy. Yes, Freddy. So I'll say it again, right? It says,
I'll tell you this from your question. Radio helped me. Radio helped me have a voice. It might be a bit hard to believe, Shem. Yeah, I learned all of this nice English from television. I never said in my language, in Polokwane. I come from a rural setting where it's hard to even access the basics of technology. I grew up in a village where electricity was not there for the first 2-3 years of my upbringing in that village, and eventually there was electricity, and eventually every household had television, and eventually every household had a cell phone device, and all those things gradually came in, though they were quick in advancement. But I got to where I am because of radio, and was given a chance and an opportunity to express myself and grow because of radio, starting at the basics of community radio. And being able to have a voice allows you to participate in your economy, and be actively knowledgeable of your world and the world around you, to participate also in your democracy. We tend to forget, maybe because the history is not communicated enough, but we tend to forget how important radio was in bringing us this democracy that we have. The first, what they used to call clandestine radio stations, was sponsored by the ANC, and other parties also had their own clandestine radio stations to help them communicate the message to their peers and comrades. And when you think of such radio stations and such formats, and what used to happen in the AM eras, when radio was not even on FM, it was very important for the society. It had its purpose. And that's why even Nestum constantly emphasizes the importance of content and content being relevant to the people, and content or radio presenters not being on air because they want to shine and they want the fame, because that leads us to a lot of people who are just clout chasing. And by clout chasers, I mean they do it for the likes, they do it for the numbers, they do what they do just to attract people's liking. Where now we have tons of female presenters. I'm sorry for taking a knock at the females for this example, but tons of female presenters who come on and become radio presenters. But when you ask them what is their unique selling point of content, they have none. They're hoping that their looks will attract followers on Instagram and Facebook, and they will have enough popularity to earn their position in a commercial station or a bigger station and grow their career in that manner. And then you're like, but what are your interests that you want to bring on board, that you want to teach people, that you want to share with people? Are you someone who's news driven, that I could see has an interest in the news? Are you someone that could say has a good political knowledge or good economic knowledge? Where are you? What's your standpoint? What exactly are you bringing to the game? So if you find that,
I have more followers.
You get to find a voice. What were you saying there? I didn't get that.
I have more followers on Instagram. That's what they will say.
Oh man, I wish people stop thinking that followers on Instagram will get you anywhere.
What are we talking about?
They will only help your Instagram and not the station. People are getting hired because of that these days, which is sad. We've all seen it at play, where radio presenters get into our favorite radio stations simply because they have followers. And honestly, they sound like cuck. Oh man, and what they have also done is ruined the fabric of radio. I honestly do not hear imaginative presenters anymore. People on radio do not spark up the imagination. It's the theater of the mind, but all I am hearing is, you are listening to this jam by so-and-so, and I am this cool presenter, and goodbye. That's all I'm hearing on most radio stations, especially at community level. It's DJ Chili Spice trying to make his way up the industry, constantly sounding like his favorite jock and going, yeah, that was a nice jam by so-and-so, and we rocking. Yeah, baby. And you don't get to hear the content. I'll give you examples of groundbreaking radio presenters who really stuck out for me, who I can remember actually had a mark because of how they delivered their content. When you speak of the early days of YFM and how your Chili M's used to really give content that was relevant to the audience, every high school. Exactly. Chili, man, made every high school kid, after high school, you just wanted to call in on the show, because the guys sounded like you. Yeah.
Talking about the content, let me, because Nestum is back online.
Yes.
Yesterday, actually, when I was having a chat with her. And Nestum, I want you to jump in on this one. Your show, it happens, towards the early hours of the morning. However, you've got so much listenership. There's so many people that are listening to you. I wonder how, and I think what makes it more interesting about your show is that you've got content. How important is for the producer to actually gather the relevant content? Why did you choose to have such content, especially
actually I'm listening to Freddy Hunter Abua ka content, leha I for example ka Chili M Ude Dusebenzile, may he so rest in peace. Content, it is very important. You know, that's why earlier on I've said you must ask yourself, why a radio presenter? And again, you make a research. Okay, I want to be a radio presenter, and which radio station? It's you know, you are aligning yourself with that radio station. If you want to go to YFM, you need to make a research about YFM, or YFM is all about what. If you want to go to FM, you make a research. FM, you know, we've got Radio 2000 with SABC, with Kaya, you know. So you must ask yourself, which radio station? And again, you must understand your character and your personality as well. You know, if let me make an example. Now, always about Nesty, why don't you go to Metro FM? Nesty, why don't you go to 5 FM? I've done a research and identity, it is very important. Finding and understanding and knowing yourself. So how so we understand that this is who I am? And Nestum, Lesedi FM. Why I want to be go Lesedi FM, whereas there are many radio stations, is because of this is new. You know, Lesedi is for Sotho-speaking people. They understand the Sotho. And people they love the Sotho. Sometimes because of I'm listening to it because of I love Lesedi FM. And sometimes they will say, I don't know and I don't understand what you are saying, but the presenter behind, we go into the content. You must be relevant to your listener. You must speak the same language. When I'm saying the same language, I am not saying Sotho, I am not saying English, I am not saying Afrikaans, I am not saying Sepedi. You must understand your listener. You must understand if you shall run to a listener. I'm gonna make an example. Somebody right now, he or she's going through a lot. You know, this it's COVID-19. People have lost jobs. People, the marriages, they've been torn apart. You know, and now this person, the solution for him or her is one. You know what? I'm going to take my life. I'm going to kill myself. It is the only solution. And then suddenly something just says to him or her, actually, more radio. And then something that Eva is saying that time. And immediately that thing in the earphone, it changer. The decision I'm going to kill myself. That's what Eva actually only got that 1 minute. You are saying I'm having the listener tonight. Now my slot is from 2 to 6, Saturday, Sunday. And people, they don't sleep. People are listening. You know why? You need to understand yourself first as a presenter so that you can understand your listener. Or what am I bringing to my listeners? It's 2 a.m. I cannot go to Nestum. But because of Nestum, something, the positive energy, when she's on air, people that will say to me, we can see. We can see that you are smiling. I'm saying to them, because of this is not television. This is radio. That's why we are saying radio is a theater of the mind. You know, when you are listening to somebody, already you are visualizing, you are having a picture of that person, you know. Content, it is very important. What you are giving out to your listeners. But that's kind of fellow good morning, hello, let's take callers. You can't do that. You need to prepare. You must do your research. You must have preparation. You must have a monthly plan, which it will lead you to weekly plan. Weekly plan, it will lead you to your preparation, understanding who are. You out any fellow area, I'm cool, and then we talk about hobby and my kids. That present and saying that on air. It creates a difference as you are managing. You know, that's why you must think of the listener. Your content, whatever package you're having, deliver to a listener, it must be appealing. The content must be appealing. Either you know me, you know my slot. Some people, they do listen to me Saturday and Sunday. I am very high. What's like maybe and very sober as a judge.
Muto dancer the whole time. Wow, dancer. Muto had to find a to Nestum. I take that's why
So even if I am doing a show movie from 2 to 6, I need to balance. I need to balance. We talk about COVID-19. Everybody topic. Don't worry. What are party? I never move on to the worry. You get my point. You must find yourself as a person, also like a presenter, and you must love your people. I can see that the main thing when I opening a community radio station. Why I want to be part of a community radio station. You are not working for yourself. You are serving the community. Rona as Lesedi FM, FM and Botshabela. We are public broadcasters. There are commercial radio stations. Rona, we are public broadcasters. You must understand what you are doing. You a broadcaster for the public. You are a public servant. You are there to work for your people, bring change. People sometimes radio. You know what? Thank you very much, Nestum. I have learned something out of this situation. She was with me, 2 minutes ago. But now I am able to say I'm going to rise. I am going there. I am reaching my goals. Even if most of you say I can only 10 rand or I can only 5 rand. You know what I'm saying? So content is very important. Comment. Most of the radio presenters, the presenter now lately. I want to go driving a Maserati. That time I'm speaking to a person who belongs from Shenodil. Next time I'm coming there to tell you about Bugatti. What do you call this guy? There's Maserati, there's McLaren. Hello? Do you understand your listeners? Do you understand the Mutoma message? Maserati 50,000. Whereas I'm depressed. I want to change my life. I want to move.
And you know what? You're actually bringing me to the next question. There's about more than 1,000 people listening to us now on the platform. This is so very interesting. And we also have Lebogang Matolong. I know he works for VOW FM. I'm not too sure if he's still there, but if I recall very well, he was still there. So Lebogang, you are watching. But I know when I'm pinching, I'll call me anyway. I'll call me pinching. God bluff and tell Nestum. Talking about people, they've got pride. A lot of radio presenters, they thinking they're the next Mandelas, the next Cyril Ramaphosa, And, at times, people don't understand that you are the voice behind the mic. You understand? And most of the time, we don't see your faces. It's only lately that during the COVID-19, we realized that most of the radio presenters are coming out. They're shooting our videos. We get to know them. But then, do you think it's necessary for these presenters, especially on television, when we meet them, they behave like Beyonce, famous if Free State because Lesedi FM?
You know what? We go back to that statement. Ask yourself why I want to be a radio presenter. Why a more televisioning? I want to be there because of poster, showcase. There are people I want to show them. You know what you thought I will never make it, and I'm here, and now you're going to feel me. Really, icons. People love us. In Nestum because of you guys. I am Nestum because of being on stage. I remember Anakilo Abashante. People, they used to love us. We love Nestum when she's on stage, the way she does her dance moves and all that. The next minute, Nestum now she's on television. The next minute, Nestum now on radio. So that's about it. And we don't have to reveal so funny to people. You know, when I'm celebrating, but you know what? I can't believe I'm like, why? And the security, you know, why you go to the malls, people they wanna hug you, people wanna take photos. It's like, no, hello, wait, I'm busy. You know, you tend to forget, in order to be over more. Who are your followers? Who are your friends? And why Bahurat? Imagine if we didn't have listeners, we didn't have viewers, we didn't have followers, you know, and then who are we broadcasting to? You get my point. So this thing of being funny to our people as really the presenters and celebrities, you know, TV, that mentality ring guy. And it's horrible because, you know, when people have a bona Nestum, they see a light. It's like Lesedi FM. The minute they see it's Nestum only Lesedi FM. And then in leadership, that thing, it's in some of the Lord. I am going to get help, you know. I am not saying all the answers. But more now we're human. We've got our own frustrations. But that thing, it doesn't have to be funny to your people. And that's why I'm saying you must ask yourself, am I relevant person, relevant candidate to be that by people. Over radio and over television and to be on stage, you must be humble. Go somewhere else.
So Nestum, I think this one I'm asking on behalf of someone from WhatsApp. Nestum, when I listen to Lesedi FM, I think what they are doing to you is unfair because your energy, your voice, the kind of content that you have, it's suitable for the afternoon drive. Why did they put you on the 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. slot? How do managers choose? Why allow the public to choose for themselves?
Can I answer that for Nestum?
You know, sometimes the kind of what you are doing, people don't recognize. Thank you very much. You know, for who got that kind of a comment. You know what? I've been with Lesedi FM for 12 years now. This is 12, and I've been doing the slot. It's either or a graveyard, you know. And let me tell you something. With me, radio is 24 hours. Now I tell people, whether it's 12 midnight, I can afford nothing to share. That's why I give you that thing. No, but in truly speaking, especially at the slot. You know, afternoon drive, he or she wants to go on the morning drive, mid-morning. So now I'm always pleased wherever they want thing. That's why I don't even complain. That's why when you are listening to me, it's like, Maribatum, no, please. This woman, she deserves to be maybe with them or in the afternoon. So for me, the planets are only God knows. And for me, I told myself, there's a reason. You know, and I've told myself, which means, you know, the short territory began on top of graveyard and Hussein Hahulu. You will find the listenership. People are sleeping or people are at work, you know, people. We don't have to live at that time. We're sleeping. So, which means I have something. Some people, they don't have. For the fact that she is the only person, only one, she's there. The minute I cannot tell her, whether you like it or not, and now I even tell my listeners, no, you know, if completely switch off the radio. Because of definitely you're not going to sleep. I am here. I have arrived. Hello.
I know that for sure. I know that for sure. But you know what I'm gonna do? It's a very difficult question for you because actually I put you on the corner with that question from the platform your WhatsApp. But Freddy Ubata Arabella that question, you know, because we really want to understand.
Yeah.
We feel personally. and I think I'm speaking on behalf of the people, we feel like radio stations, they don't value us that much because we're supposed to be the people choosing afternoon, in the morning, because you realize the people that are doing the morning drive, we all want to ready our minds for work, and we all want to hear what's going on, current affairs, politically, this and this and that, and someone comes, and I know that we're different, but look, as a country, we are evolving, we are growing, and I think stations, they need to consider that. So, Freddy, how do station managers get to choose people that are going to be on the slots? Because now, as a woman, I get to think, it seems like people are slipping their way to the top, or they are buying their way to the top so that they can get the peak hours.
True. I mean, I also wanted to ask Nestum how she feels about this, but it's a phenomenon that we have seen occur on all radio stations. You know, popularity placements or influencer hiring is something that is becoming very popular and very common, you know, where you are gauged by what you do off air, which is unfair. My favorite radio presenters like Nestum have to then suffer, you know, being placed in very odd hours of the night where the audience is less. Honestly, only because they do not have enough social media popularity to gain a position in a prime spot. But this is also brought upon by programs managers who do not understand radio. I am sorry to say this, but most programs managers out there do not know their job. They don't know exactly why they're placed in that position. They do not know the objectives of the station. And the station itself also tends to sway away from its objectives. You know, something that Nesta mentioned that's important, saying that, you know, she understands her objective as a presenter in the public radio space. As a public broadcaster, she knows she has to be for the public and not entirely have a commercial objective. So you find radio stations right now which have a commercial to public objective and end up having a commercial objective more than a public objective. Something that community radio stations also suffer from, where they have to balance between their commercial aspect and the community aspect of their programming. And that's why you find programs managers going, okay, but so-and-so is a new relevant brand that will help us break into this market. And often they fail in that, but they continue to try it anyway, because I don't know who told them that that formula works. If they really, really focused and looked at what they've been doing over the years, hiring people and placing them in positions just because, see, this is what happened. You get a TV gig and you get a promotion at your radio gig because now you are on prime time at your TV gig. It makes no sense to me, because these two mediums should be treated separately. What do you say to the audience then? Audiences have also developed cultures of listening to their people. And audiences have developed attachments to their presenters. But you want to do that on the basis that now that so-and-so has a new television spot on Mnet, therefore, hence, they must now be prime time even on the radio station. That's the culture that we've gotten into, and it's really breaking the sound and the fabric of radio. That's why radio doesn't sound the same anymore.
Wow, Benny, I can see you nodding your head. And I know you've got something to ask, or Sis Nestum, or Limang Thando. Thando, do you have something for Nestum that you want to ask before we release?
I have something for Nestum. I like it where you say that in the industry you need to be humble, and when your fans come up to you and they say, "Hey, I'm gonna get a hug, can I get a picture," or anything like that, it's most of us, like I'm celebrities or people who are well known, we mostly say I as cut. Why is that always the case?
Benny, can you repeat that again?
I said, so in being famous, okay, I just changed it, but being famous and all that, most of us we don't have, or famous or being well known, most of us we do not have time for example, like my fans wait whenever they come up to me and says, Kikupa hug, or I can I get a picture with you, a snap, so I can show my family that I was in it. And one of, I don't know, 99 out of one will say, no, I do not have time. Why is that always the case?
Okay, why is it always the case some celebrities, they don't treat their fans right? Is that what you're asking?
Okay, he said,
Yes.
yeah, okay, yeah, all right, yes, that's what he's saying.
Okay. When if I take a happen on 20 building, you must ask yourself, sorry, why did I this platform Yahuba in the public eye? I want to be there because of I want to showcase this is me, and I'm famous and I am untouchable. So I don't know about Haratwani. We have different characters, different personalities, and the upbringing yarona I think these days our people, they don't have the spirit of Ubuntu anymore. Our people, they have lost touch with that thing this thing it takes a village to raise a child. Because of I'm a biological parent here high. Another parent outside. That's why we say it takes a village to raise a child. So I don't know what's wrong with us black people these days. I'm sorry to say that, but I'm like that. I'm like that. Very straight to the point. Yeah. I think we have lost touch. We have lost that thing. We must respect. We must love each other. We must love one another. Now we've adopted this thing. Each one for himself and God for us all. If I am famous, I am famous for myself, and I don't want people want pictures and autographs. I remember we had something like an outside broadcast. I think it was 6 or 7 years ago. I stood there for something like 4 to 5 hours, taking pictures, signing autographs. And you know what? By that time, my station manager was watching, and you know what he said? He said, "This woman, she's something else." You know why? Because I understand why I am there. I understand why I chose to be a radio presenter or to work for people. Remember how a celebrity you are a public servant. You are there to serve your people, to serve the nation. So I think people, they don't understand. It's like they come to this industry to showcase and it happens. I mean, why are you doing this? Why are you treating these people like this? Are you aware of Are you aware they're buying your music? Are you aware and if you are treating them like this, what is next time they're going to say, "Oh, we're not going to listen to you anymore. We're not going to buy your music. We're not going to watch your TV show." And then what's going to happen? Because if we can understand the people who are in the entertainment industry, especially those with their on the front line, you must understand our viewers, our listeners, our fans. You know what I'm saying? So we must learn to teach. We must learn to treat them right. If we can, we must go back to the roots, go back to the basics. I am telling you, that thing is Freddy, and I go, radio now is no longer the same. Radio has changed. Yes, things are evolving. We there are things telling you we don't have to let them go. Basic things. Basic things. Going back to the basics, then we are okay.
No, That is so beautiful. You know, but like you went to Marbarka so to open a motarung hamnat and tunhase kaka, but a lot papel. Anyway, Cannibal has a question for you as well, all the way from Free State. Cannibal, surely whether you are familiar in Nestum again. So please ask your question.
Thank you, Eva. Nestum, the thing that I wanted to ask is it important to be on a radio to start a community, or we can start national? Because some of the presenters or some of the people who are talent are ready. Have access when it comes to the community radio station. So, but then there's no community radio station, there's no online radio station. So is it what or is it from go start to a national like maybe SABC or SABC on a hand cover to like in cover from community radio stations or the audition now?
Did you hear the question, Nesty?
Yes.
Can you please?
Okay, let me ask. Yeah, let me ask him. So he's saying a majority of young people or majority of people in the rural areas, they don't have a lot of access to community radio stations or the national radio stations. So is it possible that he can get access, immediate access or immediate opportunity go SABC, even though atoko mahaye?
It's a tough one. You know, I normally see people before 19. You will see people coming. Let me give an example, especially schools. They will bring kids to tour the SABC, whereby they get a chance to meet us. You know, I know they have to make some arrangements and all that. Where they'll, you know, this is Lesedi, this is Msobo, this is Ukozi, this is Metro FM 5 event and all that. And then they will get to ask questions about they want to be part of SABC, they want to be part of radio stations. I know it is hard, especially for people in rural areas, you know, whereby some of them, they don't have access to radio. They don't have radio at all. Others, they don't have television, and they want to be part of this. And others, they are talented enough or gifted enough, creative enough to come this side so that they can bring change. But because of they are far away and we are far away from them, I think it is something we have to work on. It is something that we should tell about you know, people who are out there. Have you ever thought about the kids from the rural areas? They are talented enough, they want to be part of us, but it is difficult, you know, for them. I think sometimes we tend to forget or we turn a blind eye, you know, now I am this side and you know, sometimes, yes, that's why I'm saying, how the more radio you must think of a listener. And what are you saying appeals one to some people? Because of our we come from different backgrounds, different places like rural areas. So I think we have to go back and see and search for where are we making. We are not touching as much as we can to people from rural areas. We have to give out information. Sometimes they cannot go to websites, SABC. Some people, they don't have, you know, computers, they don't have internet, they have nothing. So through listening, sometimes I think we must get relevant information. You know, if you want to be, like, sometimes I normally see on TV when they're doing the auditions, for an example, they will do an open audition. You know, where we're going to Limpopo, we're going to Durban, we're going to do audition, so that people, they are talented, they can bring something, they can bring change to our community, so that they want to be connected. I think we must try how to broadcast, especially on air, how to find that kind of information. If you want to be a presenter, if you want to be blah, 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 if you want to be a producer, if you want to be a technical blah, 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 there are schools or there are things that you can go go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and find out information. I think we are not doing that enough. Not I'm one person. Wrong. My brother, we are not doing enough. I think that's selfish. It's like when I was told not to put the pie, or I will not forget when I just going and knock it up high. And I know I could say it later.
There's only
and I want to say something on top of what Nestum was saying. I'm so sorry for cutting you there. But Nestum, I would say it is very true that we have to get this information out to the most rural of our places. I was fortunate enough, my geography teacher, go high school. I mentioned earlier on, I grew up in a village in Molechi, just about a couple of kilometers away from the capital city of Polokwane. So, that's how rural the place was. But I had teachers like Bo Alila Mola, who's also a presenter on Tobel FM. And he inspired my journey into radio by coming to school with a recorder and teaching me how to record other students and putting students on radio. And all of that was him sharing that bit of information with me about the radio world. And that's how I got to then develop my interest and started going to town now and then, going to the studios and watching people over the window. But it's not enough is being done by the SABC to promote, recruitment at that level, to promote recruitment of rural talent, which seeks to have a voice on a national platform. And what we have as a result is a lot of urban people trying to speak to a rural audience, because majority of South Africa is not in the city. But everyone on national platforms lives in the city or was raised in the city. And therefore we are losing a lot of voice and content that could come from former rural dwellers like myself. But yeah, Cannibal, we're not doing enough.
Yeah, no, it is not true. I'll make an example with myself. I come from the rural areas, and I never went to the white schools where I could speak good English. So Sesotho was my language, and it's still my language. So Tswana is my language as well. And the only nearest radio station that I could actually go and try is Lesedi FM. I've tried a couple of community radio stations around, but I always believe that you need to always set a time frame for yourself. You can't be saying, I'm going to stick with the community radio station for 5 years. Community radio station is all about development. So you can't rely on a radio station to develop you for 5 years. When as a person, you need to set your goals. Like Nestum said, you need to understand what you are looking for and what you want, and know as a public servant, how far you can go with the people. So even with your career, that's the same thing. Now, moving from the community radio stations, trying to go Lesedi FM, I used to volunteer, I remember, to say, can you please just put me on your slot? Get the update, it's entertainment. And that was my other way of developing myself. But Nestum is so right, and Freddy, you're also right. Radio stations like SABC, now for me, I feel like they're not doing much of the development, because we have a lot of presenters on radio stations, the SABC, that have been there for more than 20 years, guys. So that on its own, it limits the process of development, because there are a lot of people with talent, and because those people that have been there for 20 years, we can't even get access, we can't even get an opportunity. Now, you look at YFM. I love YFM. It's a community radio station, but it has grown to become a commercial, and now it's national in a way, even though it's still being recognized as the Gauteng whatever station. What they do, they've got an academy. They're educating young people. They come and study radio broadcasting. They develop them, and eventually they go on air. And how check out YFM? It doesn't keep people for too long. Why? Because we need a chance in the industry.
But you know what I'd say we need, Eva, especially from the public broadcaster, we need a youth station. We're not necessarily looking for we're not saying the public broadcaster should fire our favorites who have been there for 30 years. We still love them. But we are saying why haven't they developed a youth station? Why do we not have a public youth station, where the only youth station is the example you gave, which is a commercial platform that is privately owned? And therefore, I'm like, if you are going to have a Lesedi FM, why don't you have a Lesedi FM youth? That would then mean we have a variety of presenters who are not yet at the age or the ability to host with the main guys, but are developing and are at least also still being a voice to that market and that age group. You know, where you find yourself, you're streaming to your favorites. This is what happens. The SABC lost an opportunity in this one. Now, you lose the young audience because all your presenters are getting old, but you don't want to lose your old presenters because they are favorites. You still have an old crowd that has a religious following. Like guys like Eddie Zondi would have never left the airwaves or the slot. You can never do that. You can't do that. Look, I do not even encourage it. In my thought about programming and how radio should be programmed, I still do not encourage that. You want to keep your brands which keep the loyal following. But why have you not developed enough platforms for the up and coming? Why have you not developed enough platforms for children? Not just the youth, but children's programming. We cannot just have Takalani Sesame and that's it. You know, children have far more content that they need to consume over and above what they need to say on air, but they also need a whole lot more to consume. So if SABC could have its own academy that allows us to be on air, then maybe that problem that you're faced with would be eliminated. And that problem that a lot of people are faced with when it comes to you know, the entry level or gaining entrance into these radio stations or these platforms would be eliminated, because then I would have known that as a young man, I have a position in the younger version of Thobela FM when I would have been doing my thing by now. But I'm not saying they should fire my former geography teacher, Alila Mola. Shout out to you if you're listening or watching. I still have.
You are so right, because there are people like Ntate Thuso. I love listening to Ntate Thuso, mainly not because he's been there for long and he's a creative voice. He's got very good content. Ntate Thuso, or mametso o na le content e monate ntate ho feta bana ba banyane mo Lesedi FM. But what I'm trying to say is, you are right. Maybe developing a certain academy, you know, will help a lot of young people. But also maybe pairing a younger person so that they can get relevant experience. Now, we hear a lot of radio stations whereby they are bringing new 2 people or 3 new people, whereby having an experience, and then we end up getting bored, because adjustment at some point, it takes time. But I like what Nestum did. She's been there for 12 years. If everybody remembers, Nestum took a break. And when she took a break, we thought she has left Lesedi FM. I even had to go and find out. I wanted to find out she decided to office so that she can get the background of office. And now she's not just a presenter. And I think that's the reason why she's able to even come up with a very, very good content, because she now understands what people need. She's now even to be able to report, do whatever that most of the presenters, they don't do. So I'm just hoping that whoever is listening and they want to establish their radio stations, that is very important. Development. And development, it doesn't end with young people or the older people. Whether you keep developing yourself. I think enough for me to respect the Nestum. And before because Nankarera, Facebook, guys, our numbers on Facebook they are rising. But so the question from Alfred, he says, our community radio station has major sponsors who continuously want to censor our content and demand airtime, even though it's set. And as a result, content is not as community focused. How do you work around making sponsors and advertisers understand that the station and the community reserves the right to set the agenda? Yes, Freddy.
Yeah, so So, it goes back to how I answered a scenario like that, to say, radio stations, of course, have the commercial objective to stay alive. And then after that, they start having the commercial objective to make profit. So how do you convince your sponsors that you need to stick to your programming directory or your programming mandate? Is by showing them that you will lose audience if you keep taking their guide because of money. Programmers need to stop being beggars and understand that they own the platform. The radio station owns the platform, but the audience at the end of the day gives the platform life. So if you forget the two, and you think, oh, I own the platform, therefore hence I'll let the money lead the way, you will face a point where you are losing audience, and all you have now is 10,000 commercials that are not being listened to. And eventually, those sponsors themselves will start regretting what business they've been getting into with you, because eventually they will get to realize that, Haibo, Kanti, you guys don't have 1 million listeners like you used to have when we started buying advertising here. Because you can only sell your 1 million listeners at the beginning. But once you lose the fabric of why they tuned in, and as variety comes into play and options come into play in society, you will definitely lose your audience. So to that audience member who just commented that, what we need to do is start convincing the radio stations that the audience is still king and that content is king, as they always say in the media game. And that as much as we have a commercial objective to make profit, we also need to be aware that variety is also bringing in the threat to how we make money.
Okay, so 2 more last questions before we wrap up. It's Alfred from Namibia as well. He says, Freddy has a point, and I think also Nestum mentioned this. Content is key. My suggestion is do not view the online radio station as a business initially, but a community organization first that serves its immediate surroundings, including business, who you could literally walk to and ask for funding. This way, you sell yourself to donors and not advertisers. In other words, you sell the idea of community-focused content to donors to get money in exchange for free adverts. You could even extend the donorship to fund online platforms like equipment, such as laptops, cameras, and much more. All in all, I believe it's easier to get a donor than an advertiser or a sponsor. What's your say on that, Nestum and Freddy?
Whatever, especially somebody advertisers and all that. Sometimes when we have the meetings, we'll have people from departments and marketing, and such a huge debate, now it's about sales, adverts versus content, because of they will tell you, this is radio station, yes, we broadcasting to the people, we serving the nation, but you must understand at the same time we must make money, and sometimes you will find that there are shows and content that is being compromised because of now we want money. I think now, whether we like it or not, everything has changed. In the corporate world, everywhere, everything has changed. Everything is about money now. We don't care about things that we know that they will serve people in a good way with the correct manner. Now it's all about money. You know,
Yeah.
we must make money. You know, even if maybe check your show, how many adverts you have. You know, if you have one, it's like, which means you're wasting time. We're not making anything. We have revenue. Revenue is the lingo now. You know, we have 5 million listeners, and you remember, listeners are people. People, you know, with money. You know, that's why advertisers, they come there to advertise their things, so that people who are listening, that people who have money, they work and they must get that money from those people. So, you know, it's like, it is pointless. You have listeners, but you don't generate, you know, there's no money, there's no revenue.
Yeah.
You know, remember, we must pay you, so that we must also make money at the station, so that we must be able to pay you, you know. So it's such a huge debate, and it is confusing. But now we can see everywhere, they say money talks, you know.
Yeah.
It's such a big debate and a big problem, but
Yeah.
you know, what can we do? What can we say?
Freddie, if I were to bring you in there, for someone like me who doesn't understand what will be the role of a donor and the sponsor, which one would you advise between the two, and how are they different?
You know, I actually commend the comment from the viewer there.
Yeah.
It's very important. Maybe that's why I also wrote that we love Namibia. I need to find one of my placards here.
Oh.
Namibia, Namibia, how you doing, guys? We love Namibia.
You can see that. It's upside down, but it's okay.
Okay, let me get one right side up. I thought it's reflective. We still love Namibia. I got
Alfred
placards.
must be very happy right now.
Because,
Okay.
see, what also is that, you know, a donor does not expect any return on their investment. So a donor would then say, hey, you know, and this used to be very popular with community newspapers, where people would donate to the community newspaper because they feel and understand the objective of that community newspaper. They wanted to thrive. They wanted to keep going, right? So they come through and they go like, all right, cool. Here's 10,000 Rand to our community newspaper. I hope you guys can keep on printing more copies. And that was also at some point there and very popular with community radio, where people would actually come and donate to the community radio station. Remember, community radio stations under the current licensing conditions are registered as non-profit organizations. They're not there to make a profit. But because they have also not advertised the donor model and they've rather opted for a sponsorship or advertising as their model of income, you find more and more community radio stations becoming a commercial radio station, where you now like can hear that, they are all about the advertising, and their content is starting to not be content that is relevant for their people. They're not helping the community per se. And one thing I wanted to highlight while we were on this, even earlier on as Nestum gave a response to this question, I then said, but why should we shy away from the fact that commercially the sponsors who come into a radio station and the advertisers are starting to dictate the content, right? And that is as good as what happened in Rwanda, when propaganda took over radio and started causing a rivalry between two tribes. If we forget that propaganda ruined a nation, then we will not understand our responsibility as radio broadcasters or even programs managers who are supposed to be there to keep the push and pull between the commercial aspects of a radio station and its objectives to the people. As a programs manager, that's your job. That's your job. You have no other important aspect of your job more than maintaining the commercial aspect of the radio station and its promise to the people. If you're a public broadcaster and you promise to give us what the public needs, give us what the public needs. as much as what capital business is requesting from you to do, you need to constantly find a balance between the two. You need to constantly find a balance between the push and pull of business and public interest. So to the listener, you know, donors are better than sponsors. That's true. But sometimes you need both. So we constantly have to strike the balance between the two. So everyone also going out there thinking of establishing their own community radio station, think about that balance throughout. Know that you have to start with a community objective and be for the community when you start. And yes, the commercial aspect will kick in over time, but constantly strike a good balance between public interest and profit.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're still watching Good TV Africa, and the show is called Bua Mocha. We are actually giving young people a chance to be asking their own celebrities. Expert in the industry, not what next. You know what I mean? I'm aware that the time, but I'm just gonna give them a little bit more time, like 10 minutes or so before we close, guys. And there's a question here from Nestum. We're just gonna maybe deviate a little bit, but she says, I'd like to pose a question to Nestum. She's been in the industry for more than 25 years now. Is she grooming any younger Nestum that will carry her legacy after she's retired or gone? If so, how do young girls and boys contact her for the classes?
You know, one thing about Nana, very straight to the point, and I haven't changed a bit. I love my community. That's why, you know, people will say to me, why don't you go to the suburb? And then I'll say, for what? You know, because I'm very passionate about my people. I'm a black person, and I love the way and I don't have to be especially young girls. Mostly they are very interested. They want to sing. Next time I have an album, I want to sing, I want to dance. And most of them, they are still very young, okay? Age, 15, 16. So I normally talk to them, then we will tell a chance for and then Radul, and then we talk, we chat. It's like, okay, I understand that you want to sing, and at the age of 15, because of years, now I was introduced in the entertainment industry at a very early age. While middle and matric. I remember the whole community was crazy. But no, this child, she's still young. What she's going to do drugs, blah, 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 drop out and all that. But look at me now. I you know, I went to school, I got a matric, and then I go to college, I leave the diploma, you know, and all that. So normally I talk to them, you know what, even if you want to, and all that, but please, concentrate on your schoolwork first, you know. These days, they are very different from the Nakontsele Tarona, you know. And that time, now, I don't know what is happening. Now, the entire it's fast and the furious, you know. That time, you know, we were like taking the entire easy, and people we were having around us, they didn't have that mentality of exploiting, you know. So I do talk to them, you know, it's like, no, do your schoolwork, and then we talk about, okay, you do this and do that. And then, guys, they show interest in the more radio broadcasting. I remember I gave one of the guys, so aka Suwara, and then I think there were two of them. Now I give people a platform. Now really I don't have.
Honestly, you're cutting off a little bit.
Can you hear?
Yeah,
How can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Yes, can continue. Nesty?
Hello?
Yeah, we lost you. We lost you a bit. Okay. While Nesty is still trying to reconnect, I think she's hearing us, but the internet connection is so bad. Freddy, who are you grooming from your side?
Yeah, geez. I wouldn't say I'm grooming anyone right now personally, but I'm still involved with the Voice of It. I'm currently advising on their podcasts. Just reminded me of work now. Ooh.
Yeah.
So, so the campus radio station has hit me up to volunteer my time as a seasoned podcaster to help them with guiding their podcast and the programming. Therefore, so there's been a lot of young people in that space. I mean, one of the podcasts that I have to finish editing now that you reminded me of my work, Eva.
Okay, we're about to release you, don't worry.
One of the podcasts that I was editing, I was just telling some guy who's on the podcast, he's a 19-year-old, and I was like, dude, when you were 9, I was doing my first show on the very same radio station. And then it hit me that, oh, damn, I'm actually now mentoring someone. It didn't make sense to me. I feel so young. I mean, my first show, I was 17. So when I did my first show, I'm very young. So I'm not that old enough to think that I'm grooming people.
Right.
But there are young people that I work with, that I help find their feet, find their voice in the industry. I'm gonna put it on this live Facebook stream. I'm hoping that next year somebody makes me a programs manager somewhere. Yeah.
Well, somebody's out there.
I'll help them grow young talent, because I'm not old. I'm only 27 years of age. I'm able to understand the young people much better, but I'll also be able to work with older talent with all the years that I've been in the radio industry and all the passion that I have to share. So I've put it out there. Whoever's listening, who wants to make me a station manager, I mean a programs manager. Oh my God. The station manager. No, just programming.
Yeah. Okay, the reason why we also established Good TV Africa, because we realized that even in the TV industry, a lot of young people, especially from the rural areas, they're not being given an opportunity. They've always been sidelined. It's like they've been forgotten. All these opportunities, Hadikobo. Now we only see the pop stars or the idols, but other than their generation doesn't go to them. Mubango doesn't go to them. All this presenting jobs like body live, study music, they don't go to them. Channel O doesn't go to them. So we then decided that as Good TV Africa, we're just going to create this platform so that we can give these young people an opportunity. Like, for instance, Cannibal is from Free State. Kedibone is from Free State. She's from Free State. Benny is from Gauteng. We've got many more young people that have been featured on our previous shows and the upcoming shows that are going to come up as well. So I am looking forward to work with Nestum. I'm looking forward to work as well, so that we can actually develop our own mobile radio workshops. And maybe on, if the business and they understand that, we then come up with an academy whereby we're going to open the Good TV Africa radio, if I call it that way, so we can give these young people a chance. Because industry, anyway, coming back to the second question here, Zen says to Nestum, what's your take on gender-based violence and police brutality that Black society is facing all over the world?
Yo, girl. Now I don't know what is happening. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Raoul.
For real, I don't know what is happening, Melifatin Naruna. We took your home pen. I don't know what is going on, hey? Gender-based violence. 1 minute remaining.
1 minute remaining.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go on. It's fine. I'll fix it. Yes.
Okay, I'm like,
yeah, Nesty?
Can you?
Yes, you can talk.
I'm asking myself what went wrong. And like as men are killing women like flies, you know?
Yeah.
It's like motho wa monna ha a bona mosadi.
Yeah.
I think they wanna abuse. I don't know why. Or it's because of this thing of now we equality or 50-50. Or monna ha bona mosadi u bona monna o mong, monna ha bona mosadi u bona motho le gore no, we are equal. You know, for the fact that women are all over the places in a different department, you know, different industries in the corporate world. Is it not that thing like your airtime is exhausted and your call has been terminated?
People, I just bought airtime now, and it's disappointing me. Like I just bought airtime, Nana. Okay.
It's so good the network in the night.
Okay. Maybe it is our cue to close the show. But just to respond to your question, Madali, Zen, the reason why she's asking this question is because she's part of Good TV Africa. She's one of the new presenters that are doing this show. Baby, that the cause of gender-based violence. And Zen, promise you, my darling, that we're gonna get Nestum on your next week's show, which is Thursday at 6 o'clock. Zen, she will be online, and she has invited Bomneba Agency, Bomneba EFF. We've got because actually guests from Nigeria, Ghana, and Cameroon as well. We're gonna talk about the root of gender-based violence, and we're gonna be focusing on patriarchy. Hey, anyway. Freddie, thank you so much for your time, my darling. I'm going to give a chance to my co-host, Monana, or at least they must say something. Guys, how did you feel about Freddie? Do you think what information do you think the information was worth it or
Yeah, thank you, Freddie, for being part of the show. Although with network plus load shedding matata, but then but then I believe information of Anakayona today, like people who are watching, people who are listening, and people who wish they can have their own radio station. I believe they learn something. People like us who have been in radio station thinking maybe we can open our own radio station. I believe you have learned something today. Maybe the night to just start my own radio station. I believe that we get more knowledge on what's happening, more industry. Because sometimes really radio presenter believe we know, but then how should you tell other people who have experience? We know what I still need more information this media industry. But then hey, thanks for your time and have a blessed night when I'm ready.
Guys, for the platform. Kedibone, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for the information that you have given to us, to the people who live stream, and to every question that you answered very well. I think now people who are listening, who are watching us, they have now an idea of what steps they need to take in order for them to open their own community radio station, in order for them to open their online radio stations. I think from now we have a clear understanding, we have a clear view on what steps to take to open our own community radio station. I think this wouldn't have been possible if we were now not staying, if we were answering our questions the way it really means a lot.
Yeah. Benny?
Just a big shout out to, I'd like to say big shout out to Freddy. Thank you very much for the opportunity of speaking to you and giving us parts, helping us on our say that. And thank you for the opportunity that we had in the week, and shout out to everyone who was watching us live.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, Nestish is back online, but I'm just going to allow Freddie to just his last words as well. Before I give to Nesti, yeah.
Thanks guys for the platform. Thank you to everyone watching this on their Facebooks. Thank you for your time, your data. The name is Frederick Babitela on Facebook. On other platforms, I'm Freddy Maestro. I lost my Freddy Maestro Facebook account, so don't invite that guy. I can't remember the password. And I can't prove that's really me. So I'm over here now. Frederick Mabitela is the name. I hope you guys go on, invite that guy. No, he has enough Facebook friends, so don't invite him. Maybe go like Freddy Maestro, the page, and then I'll talk to you there. But anyone who wants to hit me up, do hit me up. On Twitter, I'm at Fred the Maestro. On Instagram, it's still Freddy Maestro. Let's chat. Let's increase the dialogue. Let's have fun. If you have any radio questions, then come to me.
All right. And you must also come to Good TV Africa, hey? Famous.
All my people, please go like Good TV Africa. There you go.
Thank you, darling. From a distance. Anyway, us Nestum, she's back online. She said, so words of wisdom and encouragement to your people, my sister.
Well, to all our people out there, especially young people, go for your dreams. But the most important thing, you have to find yourself. Finding yourself, knowing yourself, identifying yourself, and then knowing yourself. After that, be content. Don't be shaken. Threatened. Please and go for whatever else you want to do. We and then you set your principles. So these are my principles, no matter what, even if how difficult, but these are my principles, and I am not going to change them for anything. And to the young women out there, you are talented, you are creative, you have what it takes. Do not stoop that low. Don't ever sell your souls, and also don't ever but no, each and everywhere you go, sleep your ways to the top. Imagine know yourself. Be content, identify yourself, be character driven, and I'm telling you, how not total stop.
So true. Before you got caught off earlier on, Zen was asking the question about the gender-based violence, but I said, okay, Zen, it's okay. So she's hosting the show called The Root Cause of Gender-Based Violence. And she hosts her sessions on Thursdays at 6 o'clock. So she would like to invite you. Next week, she will be hosting Bomme by ANC, by EFF. And she also got guests from Cameroon, Ghana, and Nigeria. And she would like to have you because apparently she listens to your show and she feels like, so I don't know, what do you have to say to her?
You know what, I would love to be part of it. You know, if please just give us the context, I would love to be there. Now, I always keep one about Sadi. You know, Sadi, you know what, we will conquer. So please, I am in. She doesn't hesitate to call me. Whatever
she will have to pay me, I've spent a lot of her time, so she'll have to pay me. But anyway, it's fine. But thank you so much, guys. But I just wanna maybe give a summary to people that just like locked in maybe in the middle. You know, we've learned so much today, and Freddy Maestro, if you wanna start out your online radio, firstly you need to do a research, and a research, it takes you to identify the good servers or the software radio, now which ones are good and which ones are not. And Freddy advised that there are free sites. You don't even have to pay, so that you can test your skill and see if you can, manage this thing. And then the other thing is, they said to us, research. You must research different kinds of the streamings or the websites and how they're offering the services. Don't just talk, no, do your research, because you are responsible for what you're going to do for the people. And then the other thing is, they said you must have a relevant content and the content that is sustainable. So you're not going to come up with a radio station and say, music. What about me? I don't even listen to music. I am forever 24/7 on Radio 702 because I love my current affairs. But then because maybe you're going to give me a bit of that, then I will listen to a radio station. That's why I listen to Nestum's station, Slot. Why? Because I interviewed a celebrity. There's so many important things that I'm gaining from there as a woman and also as a citizen of South Africa. And then the other thing is, what advice is Freddy Kanto regarding selling airtime? It has its pros and its cons. So you must always set conditions. When you invite people to come to your radio station because maybe you want to source some funding, about support, always set terms and conditions because good TV, so be careful, all right? And then the other thing is, you are an entrepreneur. Once you start the radio station, you are an entrepreneur. And it's very important to think like an entrepreneur. So it means you're going to have employees. Number one, don't have producers that are lazy to do research because they said content is important. And the people that are researching for the content is producers. So make sure that you've got producers that they know relevant content. They're always constantly doing the research. And now when it comes to presenters, and Nestum did mention that as a presenter, you must understand that you're a public servant. Don't go there, flaunt their pride. How Bua Raumamela, that is why we are listening to her today. How Freddy Bua, that's why Raumamela, because why? They are making so much sense. Good voice, it doesn't matter to us. Not to me personally, you've got a good voice, but you don't make sense. How to continue? Freddy said, social media, the followership on the social media, it's not necessarily helping as such. Yes, there and there, it does. But when it comes to radio, it's all about building the relationship with your listeners. And if I listen to his show or your show or one of your presenters' show, word of mouth, it's still a powerful medium tool. Radio station. So don't rely on social media. Try and be versatile. Look for other platforms, other ways of marketing your shows. Facebook. So also be creative when it comes to that. Development, we spoke about development. So we realize that a lot of radio stations, they are not investing on development. So if you're going to start your radio station, please bear that in mind, that you don't want to be a presenter for 12 years, but yet, how about try and empower other people. Let there be another Eva. We don't want to see Eva forever, but we want to see a different Eva. Why? Because they are doing the same. And because they still believe she's still in the music industry. You understand what I'm trying to say? So also that thing, careful, look at the celebrity, wrong. And then the last thing, you must also weigh your chances when it comes to sourcing finances or sponsorships or donors. Freddy mentioned that donors, yes, already donors, they actually play a major role than sponsors because why? They don't want their money back. But also it's important to strike the balance because sponsorships okay, advertise the rofa bukana because million. So you also need to actually strike the balance. So ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure and thank you so much for watching. There are a lot of people on Facebook that have been watching. I get some because good TV. So we're still gonna do some workshops and I'm so serious in everything that we are saying on the platform. We are so serious. We're gonna go back to Freddy. We're gonna go back to Nestum. We're going to go back to you need to give us money so that we can go to the rural areas. Cannibal complaint, Kiri complaint, Benny complaint, development. It's one thing that is lacking in our country. So we want to give a lot of young people a chance. And Good TV is going to come up with the radio. The very same people that Baba one number, trainer, celebrity. My people, we love you. And on behalf of Good TV Africa and the rest of the team, we want to say thank you to the Department of Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation, and SALS and SCBC TV because so please, no mudimu wa rata because why?
Bye bye.